Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 14th. It's June. It's 2025. And today is the celebration of Trump's birthday and the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. And we've also got the No Kings protesters. I literally just saw two jerk-offs on bicycles, like in their 60s, 70s. One old jerk-off had a sign around his neck that said No Kings on it. So it's reached even here, and I'm as far east as you can go on the map until you hit England. Do you see what I mean? So I just find that really strange, but we're being set up big time on every single way we possibly can. And I wanted to do a live stream, but I just don't feel like doing a live stream right now. I don't know. I'm not too psyched, watching this thing, watching everything you've ever talked about over the years literally coming to pass, because with all the time, energy, and effort put into making over 4,000 videos, not really much has changed. Do you see what I'm saying? This entire thing is still heading straight down the path that it's heading. They're going to get their 2030 agenda. And recently, a buddy of mine sent me information from a friend of his that worked at Raytheon. And coincidentally enough, somebody I know that works at General Electric got the same thing. They're having an all-hands meeting. And the last time they had an all-hands meeting at General Electric and Raytheon at the same time, we had lockdowns the following week. So take that for what it's worth, okay? Take that for what it's worth. I can't put any people's names out there, but this is 100%. And it should be fairly obvious. This is what they're doing. They're trying to start unbelievable chaos in the country. And I shouldn't say they're trying to start it. They have started it. It's happening right now. We've got the media. We've got elected officials telling people to go out there and protest, while we can show the proof all day long that these people are being paid $12,500 to be a protester. Even if you don't have to protest, you're just on call. This is crazy, man. This is totally crazy. So I'm going to kind of jam everything into one video as much as I possibly can. But remember this, watch this video, because we're going to lose the power. They have to do that. They have to do that. I put this video up yesterday on Jailbreak Overlander, and I literally show you every single solitary device that they sell already made where you can create power. Electricity for solar power generators, for laptops, cell phones, things of that nature, or for communications. Do you see what I mean? I covered everything. And for some reason, YouTube hit this with an age restriction, which makes no sense in the world whatsoever at all. This is a product review. I showed you all the emergency radios that were actually self-powered, human-powered. You literally use a hand crank to power them. And then I showed you every single solitary hand crank generator I could get my hands on. And I paid out of my pocket for this, because you're going to need these things. And for YouTube to hit it with an age restriction, they know. They absolutely know, because I've never gotten an age restriction on Jailbreak Overlander, ever. It's not that kind of a channel. You know what I mean? But I'll leave a link for this in the description. You're going to want to watch this video, because this is going to be for putting the juice in things like, where is it? Things like this. And right now, Renee still has these on sale, and he's shipping to the United States with no sales tax. These are $700 straight up. This is a big unit. This is my EcoFlow on top. But at any rate, you're going to want to watch this, or you should do that. I don't believe we'll lose cell phones because Starlink. Do you see what I mean? We're already having food shortages. Whole Foods got hacked, and I'm thinking to myself, come on, man. Well, I went to Whole Foods in Swampscott, Massachusetts last night, right on the Atlantic Ocean, right next to Boston, and right outside there's a big sign. We're having problems. We're having difficulty shipping food, etc. And the aisles were spotty. Wasn't empty, but they were spotty. So be ready for this. This is, I can't possibly stress this enough. This is really going down. I don't know what else to tell you. It's just a matter of how far they have to push us to get this done. And I'm not talking about things like India Air. I don't care. To be perfectly honest, We got our own fish to fry right here and to worry about. I do find it odd, though, that one person walked away. India Air exploded into a fireball like an airplane's known to, and one dude walked away. Yeah, I'm not buying any of it. 33 seconds of horror. That's ridiculous. 33. At any rate, let's get into this. So, with everything that's going on in the country right now, this is what one of our governors had to say. It sounds good on the surface, but it's ridiculous and it will be abused and it's going to turn into a horror show. They're promoting violence. They're promoting death. They're promoting chaos. Order, ab, cow. I've been telling you this for 15 years.
The violence and protests in California prompted Florida's governor to go on the Rubin Report podcast with this message.
If you're driving on one of those streets and a mob comes and surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, you have a right to flee for your safety. And so if you drive off and you hit one of these people, that's their fault for impinging on you.
Ron DeSantis with a warning in advance of tomorrow's anti-Trump No Kings rallies.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Hundreds are planned nationwide and dozens are set to happen across Florida.
You still have an obligation to watch where you're driving.
Miami defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh has a concern about the governor's messaging. In 2021, the legislature passed the Combating Public Disorder Law, and that was in response to the Black Lives Matter protests after the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. It enhances Florida's laws and penalties for protesters who engage in any type of violence. Eiglarsh says a driver hitting a protester would fall under the state's Stand Your Ground law.
The right to use deadly force in Florida only occurs when you reasonably fear death or great bodily harm. You don't get free rein to hit protesters just because they're around your vehicle.
You don't have to sit there and just be a sitting duck and let the mob grab you out of your car and drag you through the streets. You have a right to defend yourself in Florida.
So we literally have a governor in the United States of America telling you it's okay to run people over. Because, I mean, what could possibly go wrong? You know how many people are going to abuse that and it's going to backfire and blow up in their own faces? And if Snopes is fact-checking it and it's legit, you know it's part of the plan. You know it's part of the agenda. There's no two ways about it. This is completely insane. And here's the deal. I showed you this paperwork a couple of years ago, maybe a few years ago, but the CIA dropped this in, I believe, 1983, and it was declassified in 2023. They're behind all this. They always are. I mean, it's no secret. The government is run by very wealthy people and bloodlines that go back, I don't even know how long, but a long, long time. They want a new world order. They showed it to us at the Olympics. They've showed it to us in every video, every movie, every place. They can't stop showing it to us, and people still don't get it. They still don't get it. They're taking the country down, and America is going to be one of their special little places because they gave us everything that we needed to defend our Constitution, and we didn't. We didn't. They distracted us with wars and drugs and video games and talking heads on television and then social media. Social media was made to literally figure out every single solitary thing you were thinking, how you would think about a particular topic, and it was made to steal your time. And it's exactly what it does. Period. This is going to get ugly. It's getting ugly. And then, of course, we have Israel. Israel attacking Iran, which makes militarily no sense whatsoever at all. This dude sums it up nicely.
First of all, President Trump, whether he admits to it or not, has made us a co-belligerent. He's essentially admitted by his actions and some of his words that we were in on this from the very beginning. And this is really disturbing because from this point forward, I don't think anything we say, anything this government says, is going to be taken seriously by anyone in Moscow or Beijing or Tehran or Ankara or anywhere else. And that's the worst part, because clearly he helped to lull the Iranians into a false sense of security and set them up for this disastrous attack. So that's one thing. So the other thing is that short run, everybody's running around in Israel and declaring victory. Israel's supporters, I should say, their paid agents in the United States are supporting or are, telling everybody how happy they are. But in truth, this looks an awful lot like an Iranian Pearl Harbor to me. And nobody here today remembers, I was born shortly afterwards in 1953, but the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, they sank some ships, and then they too celebrated and sailed home. It didn't work out very well for them. And I think the Israelis are in a similar position. The Japanese could have landed and seized those Hawaiian Islands, and then it would have been hell for us to get them back. It would have taken at least 2 years. Who knows what might have happened? Fortunately, they didn't do that. The difference is that Israel cannot consolidate its victory over Iran. But they're assuming that they'll have help from us, that we will jump in with both feet and rescue them. In the meantime, the Iranians are firing all of their older missiles. And by older missiles, I mean old technology. And the old technology is being shot down, which is the goal. They want the Israelis to waste all of their inventory on these old missiles before they start using the really high-end, devastating material. So I think this is just the beginning. The other part of this is that we're now going to see the rest of the world sort of link arms around Iran. Because if you're sitting in Moscow or Beijing or Ankara or anywhere else, and you see what's happening to Iran, you say, well, look, if we don't stand by these people, inevitably we'll be next. We'll just be one more dead name on the list like Gaddafi.
Now, that's Douglas McGregor, and he's considered an expert on things like this. But here's the thing he's leaving out. He's still part of the game, just like all of these guys are part of the game. They're giving the public perception that Israel is now going to be smoked by Iran and all of its friends, Russia, China, etc. But they're all in this together. This is just how you set up an absolute world war. And that's what they're doing. We're going to have civil war. We're going to have famine. We're going to have pestilence. We're going to have war from every single solitary angle. And Israel attacking Iran, all that does is open up America for attacks, or the excuse for attacks. Do you see what I'm saying? So we've got pending lockdowns. We've got pending civil war. We've got pending World War III all set up and ready to go. They're making their moves. This is really, really, really happening. This is no more starting a new channel or worrying about monetization or any of this nonsense. Everything we've ever talked about is coming to fruition right now. I don't even know how to explain it any more succinctly. Seriously. And to wrap all this up, Bilderberg is having their meetings right now. Okay? After the Bilderberg meetings, there are going to be some serious changes. We're going to see so much happen in the next 30 days. It's going to be insane, and I need you guys to be prepared for this. Whether it's making sure your bug out location is solid, making sure your preparations are solid, leave your house every single day like it's the last time. Bring a bag with you. I've made numerous videos on it over the years to show you what to do, what to prep, and how to act. Follow the guidelines. It's pretty straightforward because this is without a doubt not fear porn. This is telling you something you should already see, and chances are you probably already do. At any rate, it's all I got. Richie from Boston, and I'm out.